Hey guys, it's Sadie. Today I wanted to share with you all of my watercolor palettes. I think all of them. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I have a ridiculous amount of watercolors. Sometimes I feel like I don't have very much compared to other YouTube watercolor artists who review supplies. But I guess I'm happy with my collection, and it's been a while since I showed you what's in my main palette, so I'm just going to show you the watercolors that I have. So here is the set that started it all. My little Winsor & Newton watercolor box. I have had this, I think, since middle school or high school. I always had trouble opening these. Am I the only person who has trouble opening these? I don't know what happened to all of the pans, but they're not all there, and they have like a distinctive smell just opening them. I can smell that Winsor & Newton Cotman smell. I don't know if the new ones have that, or that's just because this one is super duper old. Do they even make them like this anymore? I've seen the new ones that are super sleek. I remember being really frustrated with these paints, and I think everybody can recognize these nice little holes that you get from digging into your paints because the Cotmans are a little difficult to get paint out of. Still can't close it. There we go. So this is the tin for my first set of professional watercolors. This was a SCHMINKE 12 full pan set, I think, and it's a pretty good price because I got it here in Germany. Now this is like my supplemental palette. I like my main palette, and this is like my supplemental one. This is why everything isn't clipped in. It's colors that I like, but that I don't use frequently enough to justify putting in my main palette. I have these colors that Ocho very kindly gave me, and I have some Daniel Smith, some Winsor & Newton, the lapis lazuli from SCHMINKE's special set. Yeah, not a ton of colors. When I ran out of space in this, so I got this and it was really like my entry into the wider world of watercolors, and I don't think I was the kind of person who super duper cared about pigments and all of these things and choosing their sets. I just bought this set and I thought it would be fine, and then I started getting really frustrated with the color selection. They didn't have any quinacridones in this set. I didn't like the earth colors, and I wasn't getting the results that I wanted, and I did not understand why. So I ended up reading a lot. I went to handprint and started buying extra tubes and pans to fit the colors that I thought that I needed. And that is how we got to where we are today. So from this little pan, I upgraded to this one. So you probably noticed there is no mark on this. I got this at Corneliussen's in London. I just got the standard one that they had in the shop, and I just wanted something bigger. It's so amusing to me that these have a thumb ring. People with much more hand strength than me could use this that way. So this is, like I said, my main palette with a ton of colors. I actually want to change some colors, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm in the middle of working on a pretty big project. So the colors are not exactly the same as they were in my last video. Dioxazine Purple from Core has completely and totally stained this well. I guess if I use a magic eraser, it'll go away, but I don't really care that much. This has been pretty sturdy. It's pretty hefty. I think it's supposed to be for 48. I have, I think, more than 48. I squeeze in as much as I can in here. But yeah, this is my main palette. I have all different kinds of brands in here. I've got Sennelier, I've got SCHMINKE, I've got Daniel Smith, I've got m.graham. What else do I have in here? I think, oh, I have KREMER. Those are the brands. And I have Core. I think those are the brands that I've got in here. Oh, and Old Holland, actually. Some unique colors that I have are from Old Holland. Now, this is the palette I use every single day, which you can tell because you can see all of these colors that I am way too lazy to refill, and I should refill them soon because they're getting sad and empty. And that is how you know when you touch some m.graham paint. That's some good times. Okay, this is kind of funny to include here because I actually don't even know if I will have this for a really long time. But these are some cheap watercolors that I bought at Rossmann for less than €2. Surprisingly, the colors are not that bad. They re-wet pretty nicely and they go down pretty nice. I have to try them out more, but the colors are pretty okay. This is PELIKAN, I think. Yeah, PELIKAN. They make pretty good stuff. I am going to do a cheap versus expensive art supplies challenge with these, and we'll see how they perform. I actually think they're going to do pretty good. So these, you might not say that this is a palette. You might say that these are dots, but they're so big that I feel like you can use them as a palette. These are from Earth Mineral Arts, and they are just some gorgeous colors. If you follow me on Instagram, you should follow me on Instagram if you don't, because on Instagram I have little mini reviews posted of some watercolors, and I'm planning on adding some more so that you can learn a little more about some paints that I have planned to review, but I haven't actually reviewed yet. And I have a little mini review of that up on my Instagram page, and I think in my story highlights. So these are really some unique and gorgeous colors. I said in my little mini overview that they feel very juicy to me, like not like juicy, like, I don't know. They feel like juice. I keep saying that, and I know it doesn't really make a ton of sense. And every time I've got to show off this antique silver, which is a bunch of different sizes of mica, which I think looks so crazy. This is a really pretty color, this Shell Heart White. I didn't really think that I would be interested in. It's kind of similar to buff titanium. This color I find actually really useful, and this color as well, this Lichen and Sage. It really does look just like Lichen. It's really pretty. Oh, and the texture in these two colors is amazing. You can kind of see it here in this swatch, but it's really beautiful. So that was Earth Mineral Arts. They are a handmade watercolor company. Here is my Hushwing palette. You guys saw the review that I did of that. And you know that I really enjoy these. These are some great earth colors. Obviously been using these a lot. If you're into earth colors and you want strong colors that are definitely not gonna let you down, these for sure have got you covered. They are a lot of fun. If you want to know more about this specific palette, definitely go and check out my review on these. I'm not going in any particular order. I have like a bunch of palettes off to the side and just showing you things. I don't know if this counts as a palette. I don't even know if this counts as a lot. This is watercolor graphite, they call it. Water soluble graphite. I love this. I mentioned it in my Christmas gift guide. And I think this is like so great because you can have it for sketching and just have that be the only thing in your purse or your bag, and you get so much versatility. And the company that makes it, Viarco, the company that makes it, Viarco, is a family company. So that is also really cool. And they make, I feel like every product that I've ever seen from them is just amazing. I also mentioned this in the same guide, the FINETEC whatever. I always think FINETEC because of how you pronounce E's, but I assume it's FINETEC. But these mica paints, you can see how well used all of these are. I guess I don't like this one as much, but all of the other ones just look like I have been destroying them. These are really great for painting in watercolors. They're also really great. They have like the perfect just consistency for calligraphy. I don't think I've ever liked any other metallic paint or anything like that for calligraphy so much as these. They have perfect consistency. This is a kind of older palette. I think they've updated and they've changed their name to Coliro. But this is also an independent company in Germany, handmade in Germany. I would try to support them as opposed to the many different versions that have seemed to have come out after their paints became extremely popular. So this, and I may as well talk about that together with this. These are all of my Eventually Everything Mixes watercolors that Ame gave me when she came to visit last time. So this is where I had my colors before, and I had a lot less in here. And yeah, this whole place, it smells like clothes now. And now I have a bunch more. I feel like I want to get an even bigger spot so that they can all live together happily. I feel sad that they must be separated, that there's not enough space unless I take out the brackets, but I actually really like the brackets because of the stability that they provide. And I don't want to put magnets on all of my pans, but I really, really love these handmade watercolors, and probably everybody knows these are one of my favorites. Basically, I have two top favorites, and this is one of them. The texture is absolutely amazing. Color choice is amazing, and they smell like clothes. Like, what's not to like about paints that smell like clothes? And I love the Berlin themed set. Even though I don't live in Berlin, I recognize these references, and I think that it is so cool. Also, plus Ame is just really nice and sweet. This used to be a different palette, but I took out all of those paints, and now it is a palette dedicated to Sennelier paints. The majority of these are actually from Carrier, from Color & Carrier, and we are planning on doing a collab very soon involving Sennelier paints, so look out for that. I'm really excited. And then there are also a couple from Otto when she sent me some other paints. So I have a pretty nice little collection going here. I'm liked with this pan because the SCHMINKE pans, I can't put anything in between the little racks, but this pan I was able to put these pans in here. And these are the leftover, it still feels, and paper from the limited edition SCHMINKE paints. That is that palette. That's like one of the few times that I have a palette that I actually put only one brand in it. I like to mix up my, and probably with my handmade paints, I will try to get a huge palette to put them all in together too. This is from another handmade paint brand called AQUANUT, and the tin is cute. I think this is a, yeah, it's a reused tin, but it's still pretty cute. And the thing that's unique about these paints is that they often have mica in it, and she also makes paints, handmade paints, with Aquazol, and I don't think I know of anybody else who's making handmade paints with Aquazol, so that's really different. AQUANUT from Xanadu Art Studio, and she is super duper nice. So this is the other paints that I would use, handmade paints. So this is the other brand of handmade paints that, well, not Belea, I just put these in here because I thought that the tin was perfect for watercolors. I'm talking about GALLO watercolors. This is the other of the two handmade paints that I would use every day. And she gave me this little cute, and I still haven't filled this out. I'm going to, but these are just absolutely adorable. This is a sap green. It's actually, I think, I don't normally like sap green. I really don't. I love this sap green. It is one of the most beautiful sap greens I have ever seen. So she gave me a little split primary set, and these are just such a high quality paint. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. There's just exceed expectations. They're just so solid, great, re-wet nicely, great intensity, great transparency, great everything, great layering, just all of it. And they use rosemary oil, which is totally different. And it's like very nice, calming feeling when you smell them. And so the reason why I have this hand tin is because I have some more paints. Uh-oh. Feel like a pan is missing here. I don't like that. I'll have to look for it. I should have one more pan in here. I should have one more pan in here, but so these are some other colors that she sent me, and I keep them like this. And this is another case where I think I want to reunite them so that they're not so sad and lonely. But isn't this like the most adorable label ever? And it just feels so nice and professional. They are a handmade watercolor brand out of Assisi, which is always a special place in my heart, especially because when I was younger, I went to a Catholic school with Franciscan nuns, so St. Francis of Assisi. Assisi means something special to me as well. Since we are on a handmade watercolor kick, we also have Lost in Colors. This is handmade watercolor brand out of Austria, and she tries to focus on non-toxic, environmentally friendly watercolors. And you can see this is a really earthy palette, but it actually has really good range. This is natural indigo. This paint here used to be in a bottle cap, but I scooped it out and I put it in here. So you have about a reddish red, an orangey red, indigo blue, two different types of green earths. They're actually really nice green earths, and then yellow ochre, which is really nice and goldeny. And these are held in here with magnets. I'm going to do a review of these as well. Like I said, if there's anything that you haven't seen me do a review of, I'm probably going to do a review of it at some point. And before I can get it up on the YouTube channel, because those videos take a little longer, I will probably have something up in my Instagram stories. So this little thing, if you know Essence, you know that this is a drugstore makeup brand. This little thing is what comes with me every single day in my purse. This is what I always have with me. It is a little set. I think I got these were, I tried to find the smallest and the cheapest set of makeup that I could. And I just scraped out everything and I made myself a little palette. And I've got warm and cool red, warm and cool blue, black, white, warm and cool yellow. Look at that. And it is super tiny. I mean, you can see it's super duper small and it's flat. That's also the nice thing, because these, they are around the same size this way, but this way is about double the size. So this really fits really easily into your pocket or something like that. And so even if I'm not planning on painting or anything, I always have this, and I love it. And yeah, I just use this as the mixing area. And it's just always great to have around. And I always have watercolor paper just tucked into the back of my purse. So I'm always ready to sketch. Before I made this, these actually were the ones that I used to carry around. And these are still really great. The VIVIVA, I have a review of these on my channel. This is the old version, and this is the new version, which is a bit bigger, but it makes way more sense and it's way easier to use than the old one because it has names and a legend for the colors and wax paper in between them. So it's way easier to use, but these are really great actually, and really easy to just slip in a pocket or even a notebook. If you wanted to put this in your planner or something, that is really great for that. So the VIVIVA color sheets are pretty cool. These are a dye kind of sheet, kind of like a Peerless watercolors. If you have never seen these before, there was a time when everybody was doing a review of these. So you might have seen this. If you haven't, I definitely have a review of these on my channel. So this was a birthday present from my husband. A little SCHMINKE travel palette, which is the cutest thing ever. And the really awesome thing about this is that it holds water. So here's a little water bowl, and you can put the water in here. And it hooks on like that. And this is how I started plein air painting. And it's really easy for me to hold like this. And it doesn't have a lot of mixing space, but it's been really useful. And it's just easy. And I think here I have basically SCHMINKE watercolors here, the ones that came with it. And then I have gouache. Actually, I find that I really like gouache when I'm doing plein air because it dries much faster than watercolors most of the time. Isn't this just the cutest little set? I love it. It's really great. And I love that it is just includes your water and everything, because I really like working with real brushes. So it's really useful that way. So this is actually the tin for the Earth Mineral Arts watercolors, these. But I am running out of space. I just got some more containers, so they're gonna go in there. But right now, it's holding some paints from KREMER, including this ultramarine green, this pyramid yellow, which is actually supposed to be closest and or maybe actually is the original Indian yellow. And to be honest, I have forgotten what this red is, but it's actually really nice red. And you know, this is my zirconium ceruleum that I love using all of the time. It's a little triad. I might end up getting another triad of these, and I'm definitely going to be doing a review. These are KREMER pigments. And in other palettes that do not hold what they look like they hold these, this was full of core watercolor tubes. It is not anymore. Right now, it is holding all of the gajillion little pans of HOLBEIN watercolors that Otto sent me. And I'm going to... Oh my gosh. And I had them all in order too. Well, okay. So these were given to me by Otto. These are HOLBEIN watercolors, and now they are completely out of order, but I'm going to do a review on these as well at some point in time. And they won't be in a mess like this. Maybe. There you go. Oh. Right as rain. So this is the last palette. So this is the last watercolor palette, and actually I've been meaning to do a review on this for a while, and I'm happy actually that I ended up waiting to do the review, because at first I was not that impressed by this. I don't really like plastic palettes, so I wasn't having a lot of fun working with it. But now this is the palette that I reach for when I want to do plein air sketching. This is what I take with me when I'm traveling. It's a little difficult for me to put the wells on, but I love that it has these two wells, one for clean and one for dirty, because then it's really easy for me to use my real brushes. And I have a bunch of watercolors on one side and gouache on the other side. And I just love it. I love that it has all of these wells. I didn't think I would like these super duper tiny wells, but I like them. I like the big wells. I mean, everything about this design is just so great. And I really discovered this after working with it for a long time. So if you have been wondering whether it's worth it, it's definitely worth it. I really, really love these. The only thing I don't love about it is the brush. Yeah. I don't like synthetic brushes most of the time. And this is a tiny synthetic brush. But that's okay. I can use my brush. So that is the portable painter. And it is just, hey, look at that. That's so nice. It's about the size of a cell phone. It's great. Now here is just some storage of my watercolor pans. I have some Gansai Tambi here. I have some, this is actually Genuine Rose Madder by WINSOR and Newton when they actually used to make it in England, I think. Yeah, I think these are actually from when they were made in England, so this is really old. Some old SCHMINKE Earth Color full pans, which I do not like. Some White Nights full pans. A bunch of half pans from different brands, I think including De La Rowney. Little gold that I made myself, but I don't use very often. And just an assortment of things that I don't use really regularly in a polychromos tin. And this is where I keep my tubes. Yes, a bunch of different tubes. I've got SCHMINKE, got Rembrandt, m.graham, Old Holland, Core. I don't know if there are any other brands in here. Oh, WINSOR and Newton. The special edition SCHMINKE paints. I've got Sennelier. Did I say Daniel Smith already? Ah, and I have De La Rowney. And yeah, so this used to be a really cheap art supply box that I got as a Christmas present. I took out the paints and stuff, and it has just become storage for my watercolor collection. And I ripped off the cover as well. So believe it or not, those are all of my watercolors. And I thought I would also just show you really quickly my gouache, which I don't have nearly as much gouache as watercolors. This is a really cool idea. I like the idea of having little boxes for gouache. I actually mixed up these colors myself. I wanted to have some pastel-y colors, but I didn't want to buy more gouache. So I mixed these up, and this is a really convenient way to store a bunch of gouache, actually. So these are colors that I mixed up myself, and these are the rest of the WINSOR and Newton gouaches that I wanted to take out of the palette. And this is not, on the other hand, really strongly attached, so it's definitely not water or airproof. But I feel like the paint's held in there pretty long, and you don't really have to worry about the whole cracking issue if you have them in something like this. And these are super duper cheap. Really, really cheap. This was my first gouache palette, the smaller Mugello palette that I got because it was supposed to be airtight. Not exactly airtight, but it works good enough for me. I've taken out all of those colors though by now, and now this is, if I can get it open. Oh my gosh, okay. This is my Zorn palette, so it doesn't have very much in it, but it's got yellow ochre, red, some blacks, no, some grays that I mixed that are left over, and white and a black, and I guess this white is just gone. I've used so much of it, it's just not there anymore. So that is my Zorn palette, and I have a video about that. If you want to know more about the Zorn palette, it is really useful for general sketching and especially for portraits. Makes life a lot easier. for Christmas, I got this big Mama Jamma, and it is now where my other gouache lives. And you can see I don't have tons and tons of gouache. I tried to have them in some kind of order: blues, reds, yellows, browns, white and black over here. I have these little handles to make it easier to take stuff out of it. I guess I had mixed yellows and oranges here, greens and blues on this one, and I guess pastels and reds, purples here. And this is just like, it's a really nice palette. I like the amount of space that you have for it. I have a video about setting these up and how I feel about this palette also, if you want to check that out. And here it is, some Kristallen, not Kristallen. If you don't know what Kristallen is, it's a traditional German Christmas cake, and Dresden Kristallen is really famous. And Dr. Kind makes really nice Kristallen. I really especially love the bio Kristallen, so if that's something you ever get the opportunity to try out, definitely do. It is extremely fattening, so word to the wise. But this is not Kristallen, unfortunately. This is gouache. So I have a bunch of m.graham gouache. I have a review about these. You know that I love them. These are my favorite. They last such a long time. I've had these for a long time now, and I use them really often, and here they are. These are the finished WINSOR Newton tubes that I have, and I guess some more, but they're basically all done. This is a million-year-old WINSOR Newton gouache tube that I hold on to because I got it from my sister from when she went to school, and yeah, you know, sometimes you're just sentimental. So I have, outside from those brands, I have a couple of tubes of the Academy gouache, which I want to get a triad and then do a review. I've heard someone said that the Academy gouache is acrylic. It's not acrylic on their website. It is a regular rewettable gouache. It smells really bad. At least I think it smells really bad. But they're really cheap, and they come in humongous tubes. So I'm definitely going to try out a triad and see how that goes. And the hood, I don't have much except for the white, but the white is really, really good. So I'm curious to also get at least a triad. I'll probably end up getting a full set since the m.grahams are not easily available here, and see how the rest of those are. But I think that they are probably going to be pretty good quality. And that's it, guys. Those are all of my watercolors and gouaches. That's it. So I hope this was fun. It was interesting just for me, actually, to see all the watercolors that I have. And the gouache, I actually use a lot of these pretty often. Of course, I'm mostly working from my main palette. That's my go-to. But I really enjoy working with the different varieties that I have. And I hope that I introduced a couple new names to you and gave you guys a couple new ideas. Is there anything that you guys think I should know about that I haven't shown or that I should try? Is there anything that I showed you that you guys are really interested in? I'm also thinking of showing you guys my watercolor associated things, like watercolor pencils and stuff like that. And also to show you my brushes, because I have a pretty good collection. I don't know if it's a huge collection or not, but I guess you guys will see what it is like pretty soon. Make sure to stay hydrated. It is so hot, and I know people who have been getting heat stroke. It is crazy, especially if you're in Europe. Hope that you are enjoying the last days of summer. Thank you so much to my patrons. Pretty soon I'm going to be coming out with a class on painting portraits in watercolor, and my patrons will be getting that for free. So watch out for that just now. Please like, comment, subscribe so that you know when my next video is coming out. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you guys next time. Bye!